Hey everyone, and welcome to the first quick form video that I hope to make more of on this channel. The point of a video like this is to address issues I find as soon as possible rather than waiting a week or two after said event to address it, and this is definitely the case for that. I pray that what I'm about to tell y'all doesn't come to pass, but nonetheless, please share this video and let everyone know what's going on. Justice Department reportedly asked Congress for indefinite detention powers to fight coronavirus. You heard it here first, folks. The DOJ wants to take away your right to a fair and speedy trial to fight a virus that has a 98% survivability rate. The Justice Department is using the COVID-19 outbreak to press for sweeping new powers that include being able to detain Americans indefinitely without a trial. I'm not 100% sure if the indefinite thing is fear-mongering on the article's part, but either way, this is extremely concerning and we need to take this seriously. The department is asking Congress to allow the U.S. Attorney General to ask courts to suspend court proceedings. These include any statutes or rules of procedure otherwise affecting pre-arrest, post-arrest, pre-trial, trial, and post-trial procedures in criminal and juvenile proceedings and all civil process and proceedings. In other words, the Justice Department would be able to postpone trials, hearings, and other procedural steps that follow arrest. That represents a potentially huge violation of the constitutional right to a speedy trial. Okay, I will admit that this virus is serious since we don't have a vaccine for it, and it is killing people with compromised immune systems. But this step of pausing trials and denying people their constitutional rights is not needed. This is one step away from martial law, the extremely unconstitutional procedure where the government basically throws the Constitution in the trash and limits free speech, tries to take your guns, and basically does everything a tyrannical government would do. Basically a case of giving a mouse a cookie, but on a much more serious scale. Those powers would apply whenever the district court is fully or partially closed by virtue of any natural disaster, civil disobedience, or other emergency situation. It would remain in place for 1 year following the end of the national emergency. This is the other part that concerns me. Pausing trials and such for a couple weeks during an emergency like this isn't that big of a deal in my opinion if restricted to violent crimes. However, doing this across the board and for 1 year after this virus panic ends is a ridiculous step that is not needed. Anyone that values their freedom and the Constitution should be 100% against this and should make it known to their representatives in Congress. And I'm serious this time, please call your representatives and tell them to vote no on this. The right to see a judge and seek release from detention after an arrest is one of the fundamental building blocks of a democratic society, one in which the state cannot deprive individuals of their freedom without due process. The times in American history when that has been suspended or circumvented are some of the darkest. We should not seek to repeat them. Refer to my statement about martial law again because that's what this rabbit hole leads down if Congress allows the DOJ to do this. I doubt they will, despite being majority Democrat, but we should still be paying attention to this in order to make sure it doesn't happen. We have an obligation to our fellow Americans to make sure this doesn't happen. The DOJ proposal is deeply troubling and would raise a whole host of constitutional concerns, says Scott Bullock, President and General Counsel for the Institute for Justice, a libertarian law firm. History demonstrates again and again that governments use a crisis to expand power and violate vital constitutional principles, and when the supposed emergency is over, the expanded powers often become permanent. This is 100% accurate, and another thing we should all be terrified of, so I again ask you to share this video everywhere and to let people know what's happening. Everyone is in a panic right now thanks to the media over something that shouldn't be panicked over. However, this is something we should actually be concerned about. We've heard people ask what's really going on behind closed doors with this virus, and here it is. Clark Neely, Vice President for Criminal Justice at the Cato Institute, says, if history is any indication, it's a near certainty that these powers will be abused and that the DOJ will try to hide those abuses when they occur. This is simply not an agency that has earned the kind of trust implied by these requests for increased authority and discretion. Couldn't agree more with this. The government should not be trusted with these types of powers, nor do they need these types of powers to begin with. It's also unclear how allowing indefinite detention would help fight the coronavirus outbreak. It seems more likely that the DOJ is learning from members of Congress and the President that the crisis provides a convenient excuse to ask for things it already wanted in the first place. Another good point, and another reason for concern. How the hell is this going to fight the virus? How is this supposed to help? And why would the DOJ want this type of power in the first place? This power is not something they need, and I believe it is 100% something they will abuse. It's step one on the road to a 1776 reenactment. I cannot stress enough how big of a concern this should be for everyone. Please, for the love of all that is good in this world, please share this video and make others aware that this is happening. And with that closing statement, I will conclude this video. Social media handles are on the screen, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Catch y'all later.